card called Hyper Potion, which is pretty good.
Yeah, and the prizes we saw.
Yeah, maybe Travis won't see them, but Manuel may be able to give us a presentation. And right off the bat, we are graced with the presence of a Radiant Gardevoir.
Yeah, one of the new Radiant Pokemon out of Lost Origin. It is really just for that ability to reduce 30 damage done by your opponent's V Pokemon attacks. So it's all just about damage reduction, healing, and, you know, good old Arceus VStar fun.
That's what I'm here for. Looking at the opening hand there for Travis, plenty of ways to get these basic Pokemon into play. Exactly what you're looking for as an Arceus deck. Don't know if we saw the opening energy though, and that can be the downfall of a lot of Arceus builds. Always really dependent on the opening hand, seeing just the right mix of cards.
Now, both of these decks do play Melanie as a way to kind of cheat in that extra energy from your discard, attaching it to a Pokemon V, and then that way you can double turbo. And it does take a lot to get together, but you do have a power like that Starbirth from Arceus V-Star to search your deck for any 2 cards. So depending on if you're missing a certain piece or not, that could be very beneficial.
All right, I lied. There's a water energy. That's just awesome. That's exactly what you're looking for. And honestly, as you were saying, you can see that discarded just now. The Melanie is lined up for next turn. So it's going to look a little silly passing with no energy in play. But I think Travis has basically telegraphed, hey, next turn I'm going in.
I do have to say, Slip and Trip is probably one of my favorite attack names on that Hisui and Goodra V. I don't think we'll really see it too often.
That sounds like some and one mixtape. nice move there.
So there is just a pass of the turn after getting Radiant Gardevoir of Travis's own, that Loving Veil ability. Reduces 20 damage, not the 30 like I thought, you know. It's just can't count.
Listen, all right, 20's plenty.
Yeah. Now it is up to Manuel to figure out what you actually need to do here, and that step number 1 is probably going to find an Arceus V.
Yep, looks like there is the option to thin before the gear. Going to forego that. And is there a brutal punish? Yes. Ooh. That's fine. He's got a research in hand. That was a calculated miss.
Honestly, there's kind of some point to, if you want to use the Ultra Ball and the Quick Ball to just discard that Pokegear, you already have that Professor's Research in hand. Now, kind of a missed opportunity, but when you're trying to hope for a different supporter, you know.
Yep. Maybe Marnie was something to potentially be thought of there. There are 3 copies for Manuel in this list, and he knows that there's surely a Melanie on the other side about to be played. So just a little bit of a hiccup, but there was a boss's orders that could have been grabbed. I don't want to discard a boss's orders.
Oh, no. Boss's orders in hand, too. Crystal Cave is going to be one of those stadiums in this matchup that is beneficial for both players. I think that is the only stadium between the two. So that is in play for good.
Okay, yeah. That's a lot of reductions. We're going to see, usually we're over here adding up damage, amplifiers by way of power tablets and whatnot. Instead, we're going to start with a big number and go down. So if you want to pull out your calculators at home and play subtraction with us, it's going to be a fun one.
Intrepid Sword will end the turn for Manuel there, netting 3 cards off the top of the deck. And now Travis starts off with the Melanie. Kind of like you planned this out.
Yeah, I think we saw this coming. I did not see the rest of this hand coming. This is terrible. There was no way to get Arceus V-Star, and really that was the missing key. That would have unlocked everything. We would have seen Starbirth, double turbo, and a fully charged Goodra ready to go. Instead, it is big pass, big sad.
Escape Rope to start things off for Manuel. Going to get that Radiant Gardevoir out of the active spot, and that's probably one of the best cards that can have right now in this position. We do see, with a prior glimpse into Manuel's hand, that Arceus V-Star is in there, along with that Goodra V-Star.
Yeah, this is brutal. Travis really has to make a tough decision here. Obviously, understanding that healing the Goodra is certainly a possibility, but there is also a big possibility that you are going to lose your Radiant Gardevoir this turn. The Arceus VStar is lined up, ready to go. Starburst coming down. We're going to see that double turbo energy, and that is going to be a turn 2 attack by way of Trinity Nova, removing the Radiant Gardevoir, and going to be limiting some of those defense tools for Travis now.
And this is where the big difference in these lists will come into play, and I think it's the fact that Manuel plays that Zacian V, was able to net 3 cards from the top of the deck turn 1. That's just so many more resources you have to play with. Meanwhile, Travis not actually playing the Zacian V in the deck, opting for the Zamazenta V, trying to counter some of those VMAX in play.
Yeah, and I'm sure that was beneficial potentially in getting to this spot, but it is not going to help you take 3 points just yet.
After that Starbirth, we see a quick ball discard that Crystal Cave. Crystal Cave is going to be the best discard. You know, yeah, not too bad.
Just when you see that card, just read it as Battle VIP Pass for the rest of the game.
And here we see that Trinity Nova getting the knockout. We're going to see 1 prize card for Manuel. But the biggest thing is you get to attach those 3 basic energies from your deck to your Pokemon V any way you like. And it looks like just all 3 on Goodra VStar. Not bad.
Yeah, you can already see just how big this Pokemon can get. The big charm, the reductions from Radiant Gardevoir, the reductions from the attack, and of course the healing power. So there's so much potential for this Pokemon to remain in the active spot for a long time.
Well, Travis did draw a Professor's Research off the top of the deck, so now a little bit more play. Do we see an Arceus VStar?
You got to be kidding me. At least there's an energy, but that's not okay. This is a nightmare scenario. Losing these turns right now where you can get some pretty relevant damage onto a Pokemon like that Arceus V-Star, that is really tough. Of course, the one big benefit here is you finally have your Hisuian Goodra lined up, ready to go, but you lost a lot to get here.
And your opponent's going to have 2 Hisuian Goodra V-Stars powered up by the end of this turn.
Is that better than 1?
It's more.
Well, there it is, 3 energies lined up, ready to go. Going to see another Pokegear from Manuel. Does he like what he sees?
Well, I see a Marnie, and I like that.
Well, my opponent still doesn't have an Arceus V-Star, so I don't know if I play it. We'll see. I mean, there are some pieces that Manuel would certainly like to still line up. Maybe find boss's orders to hold on to so that you can make sure that a Goodra never runs away from a potential knockout or something of that sort. So, and of course, that 1 big charm would be a nice welcomed addition.
Well, here we just see the attach of the water energy to that Hisuian Goodra V-Star. Trinity Nova, 180 damage, and now you got those 2 slimy boys just sitting on the bench ready to go.
Yep. We've substituted our skyscrapers for sad slimy boys, and I couldn't be happier.
I think Travis could probably be a little happier.
That's true. This is not ideal, but we do have the main attacker of the deck, Hisuian Goodra V-Star, moving up. We see Rolling Iron ready to go, and the additional energy. I think I know what that means. that is some Hyper Potion foresight.
180 thanks to that Loving Veil from that Radiant Gardevoir. But now you got that 80 damage reduction thanks to Rolling Iron, so going to be a little bit harder to really take down this Hisuian Goodra V-Star, but your opponent's going to be dealing with the same thing.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of rolling going on over the next few turns, and this is where the chess match comes into play now. You need to make sure that your hand is ready to go, and surely enough, Manuel understands that this is the time. Play that Marnie. Make sure that you have an opportunity to find those additional cards to help you heal out of awkward situations, and boss's orders to chase down a Hisuian Goodra that might try to get away from potentially being knocked out.
Well, off of that Marnie, there's the double turbo energy and that Hyper Potion found pretty good couple cards off the 5 draw here. And now Travis is going to have to try to build up another attacker while trying to navigate things in this Rolling Iron mirror match. having the Ultra Ball discards a couple supporters here.
Yeah, Avery, not going to be an ideal play. There is. I think I know what would be the target. And yeah, just going to get some additional hit points onto that Arceus by way of evolution to the VStar. And 1 card in hand, and it is going to continue play because there's a lot more cards coming. Professor's Research, I believe.
Listen, Travis is just playing the 5-head move where you don't even need to Star Birth, so you can save Moisture Star until the end game.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm a little jealous that you got to say Moisture Star before I did.
I saw my route. I got to go for it.
Well, there's plenty more play for Travis now. We see that second big charm. Maybe thinks about holding. Now decides, you're not playing Scrapper. You wouldn't do that to me, right?
There's that Crystal Cave healing off 30 damage from all of your Dragon and Metal Pokemon. And Hisuian Goodra V-Star is a Dragon Pokemon, so trying to mitigate some damage there. And yeah, there you see, thanks to that Radiant Gardevoir and the Rolling Iron, just 100 damage coming from that Hisuian Goodra V-Star.
Yeah, we can take those. We can certainly take a few of those. And with the Crystal Cave helping out, you can just heal that down to 70. And that means that you can take upwards of 4 of these hits before really having to worry about being knocked out. You add the inclusion of the Hyper Potions as well, and things get ugly.
All right, I think we're having a debate with Big Paracel, maybe, if the Goodra puts the effect on the opposing Pokemon or itself. It does look like Goodra V-Star puts the Rolling Iron reduction on itself, so Big Parasol won't be able to actually prevent that.
Always good to clarify. We've mentioned time and time again how important these judges are to the success of these tournaments and being put to good use there. Manuel making sure to understand exactly how that works and says, you know what, I don't really care anyways. I'm just going to throw away the Parasol.
Oh, this doesn't work? Okay, yeah, I'll discard it.
It is a cute accessory, but I don't know if it's going to lead to the path to victory.
Just Goodra doing its best Mary Poppins impression.
Was there no heal from the cave?
Oh, no.
That was a misstep.
We'll have to see if that comes into play later on. This whole game is about sneaking in as much damage as possible, so if you miss something like that, could come back to bite you.
Travis using the stadium. Manuel shakes his head and goes, oh, I could have done that.
Oh, that's smart.
Good card.
My stadium.
I should play that. Oh, I did.
Oh, this is, again, just doing some math here. You don't have the Radiant Gardevoir of your own. It got knocked out, so you're not going to really be able to... Oh. Looks like the 30 went back on.
Interesting.
Now, this is... who would have thought you'd use so much math in the Pokemon TCG, but it's actually how I learned how to count.
Yeah, I just ask a friend.
With that double turbo energy attached to the active and the hyper potion, that is 120 damage off the Hisuian Goodra V-Star. And now it is Manuel's turn. Uses that Crystal Cave. Okay,
so I'm assuming that this just the damage was placed with the intention of cave already being used.
Okay.
So that would make sense. Once again, just do it. Just do your actions. It's a lot easier for everyone to follow, and it makes sure that you don't have these awkward situations. But there we go. We are going to see the Hisuian Goodra with just the 1 water energy taking a shot here, and this is these are awkward spots if you don't have the right cards in hand, and I don't know if we see them just yet.
Yeah, you do have access to that Starbirth, but
this is not how you want to do it.
Oh no.
Considering the Avery can just look over and see there's a V-Star available. Gonna heal first.
Yeah, there is a V-Star available, Kyle.
Yeah, Moisture Star. Honestly, still probably just holding on to hopes of using that really in this matchup.
And wow,
just the pass.
And now that Crystal Cave is going to tick down yet again. Just 20 damage left on that Hisuian Goodra VStar from Manuel.
The 5th energy
You
to
know what
the
that
Hisuian
means?
Goodra. No, I don't. Please enlighten me.
An Avery of his own. There's no extra Pokemon for Travis to discard that Arceus V-Star anytime soon. And there we see the knockout. Manuel now down to 3 prizes in this mirror match and really taking full control, having 2 of the main attackers charged up in that Hisuian Goodra V-Star. Basically no damage on them as well. And Travis is really going to have to dig deep for this. Just a prize.
Whenever you see your a player go down to 3 prize cards, you immediately think Roxanne. Is that something online? Not something to worry about here. Don't believe we see a copy in either list. So
listen, they're not expecting to lose. So
yeah, that's right. And it's a lie, so why would you even bother?
Yeah.
Going to see some thinning here. Go for that Arceus V. And then the question is continually going to be asked of Travis, do you want to play Avery? The answer is always no, but are you supposed to play Avery is the question, and that answer is no as well.
Well, there is that rolling iron yet again. Travis trying to keep things rolling, but seems to be rolling off a cliff.
I don't know if I can cringe anymore. Manuel, plenty of energies. Can surely take another hit before considering a hyper potion. Although in situations like this, you start to wonder, do I just play my cards before I get Marnied or something weird? So plenty of play still left, and you got to expect rolling irons are just going to continually drop onto this Goodra and try to put some more pressure on Travis to maybe make an awkward decision.
Well, it's just the fact that it's 120 damage versus 100.
He held out for the Marnie and it paid off.
So Marnie can find something like another energy hyper potion. We do know there's a couple hyper potion in the prizes. So because of that, actually, not able to do 2. Oh, no, there's just the 1. Okay.
I think we see the hyper potion
Yeah,
energy.
yeah,
That's
okay.
nice. The rest of the hand is
Oh, no,
to
that
be
is
desired, but at least there is
double ordinary
rod.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's no hyper potion.
Yeah, the gear art looked like a hyper potion.
Yeah, blame the art.
I did.
Ordinary Rod going to be played for Travis here, shuffling back 1/1 Goodra V-Star and 2 water energies, it seems like. Going to use that Crystal Cave yet again, healing 30 damage. And we're going to see 100 damage being placed on Manuel's active Hisuian Goodra V-Star.
I think I've seen that before. At least we're in a situation now where you start to wonder about the hyper potion. I don't think we see it in Manuel's hand, and then you have to just wonder, is he going to push, try to get one step closer? Plenty of supporter options, it looked like. So an opportunity. Looks like just 1 hyper potion in the discard pile there. Marnie going to be the choice. I don't care what's on the bottom of your deck. I care what the top 5 are. Hyper potion is good.
Yeah, you see that hiding out in Manuel's hand here. Has enough energy to use it and still attack with Rolling Iron. Also plays that big charm down for just some assurance.
I'm a fan. Also, don't mind just holding the hyper potion. You're not at risk of being knocked out. We do know the risk that comes along with that, and the card Marnie once more, just putting that back on the bottom of your deck, but so be it.
Does not look like a Marnie hand here, at least for Travis. He's going to start things off with an Ultra Ball to find that Hisuian Goodra V. Going to try to get another one of these set up, hopefully.
Yeah, we see the double turbo discard there. You start to wonder how many hyper potions you can realistically play. Is it worth reducing your damage at any point to just throw that on and then try to go find the hyper potion, and not going to be considered by Travis?
Yeah, because that's what we need right now, more damage reduction.
let me give you another Radiant Gardevoir. I'm sure this will be fine. Manuel reading the Zamazenta said, oh boy, are you going to attack me with that?
No, it is getting discarded with this professor's research.
Yep. Travis said, I don't need this in my deck anymore. Bad card.
And here is that said Professor's Research. 7 cards off the top for Travis here, making sure you get all 7. And there's the Avery peeking their head again.
Once again, missing the Hyper Potion. We do know the prizes are pretty rough for Travis. So
yeah, just
missing out.
Not everyone can come to the party that often. This time you're going to have to leave someone behind.
Well, let's at least invite Radiant Gardevoir back to the party.
That is going to be a little rough, though, because it does leave another 1 prizer in play for Manuel to, snatch up with a boss's orders, maybe.
Jeremy, that's a good point. Travis doesn't care. Going to play that down anyways. Maybe that just the damage output is that much important on this turn. And I think that we're getting really close to that spot.
Okay, Crystal Cave healed 30. Do we see? All right, just the rolling iron. You're going to be able to take another hit, hopefully, here, and then maybe a big moisture star.
We are so close to the moisture star. I can feel it.
Does it feel wet, Kyle?
It is. It is very wet. Hyper Potion going to be the call. Going to take away a couple of these energies. No longer necessary. Goodbye 12 pips. And that feels lovely for Manuel, I'm sure. Travis going to be mimicking that same thing with a VStar counter, and I think that's going to be even sweeter.
Now we do see the Melanie in hand for Manuel. We'll be able to attach an energy that was just discarded. Gets to draw 3 cards, and we see here he basically has everything in play. You just need to slog through this Goodra, and that's what you're going to try to do. There's the 100 damage with the rolling iron, and Travis, ooh, I think we're going to see it, Kyle.
This is what dreams are made of.
Round 9, Moisture Star. Heal all the damage from Hisuian Goodra VStar.
Oh, yeah, that's what we love to see there. Taking away all those damage counters. 280 damage removed. Hisuian Goodra, put a smile on that face, my friend. You're going to be sticking around for a while.
Well, here is healing of Manuel's own. That Crystal Cave yet again. Now there's 180 damage on that Hisuian Goodra VStar in the active. Still going to be able to take another hit thanks to that big charm.
This game has been going on for quite a while. I have no idea who's going to win. I'm just looking at the resources, and I'm like, oh, man, some boss's orders would be great. You could take a couple knockouts. Manuel never draws boss's orders. They're just not anywhere to be found. They're not in the deck. I think we saw at least
1 in the prizes.
1 early discard and 1 on the Hisuian Goodra. So I think they just might not be an option. And Travis is going to just have the biggest tank in the game. Hisuian Goodra lined up. Radiant Gardevoir might be safe.
And we do see one of the big differences in these lists for both players is the Hyper Potion count. Manuel is at 2, has already played both of them. Travis is at 3, has 1 in the prizes, still has another one available, although not in hand.
All right, back over to Travis now. Has the boss's orders of his own in hand, so of course eventually we'll be able to pick off some prize cards. But right now you're focused on the big target there. You have this Hisuian Goodra with the big charm, and you could basically line up the knockout for next turn now with the rolling iron.
All right. There is so much damage yet again on that Hisuian Goodra VStar. And for some reason, just wants to stick around. Maybe it's all the slime.
I'm down. So this is the big turn that we talk about, where you try to run away, and you present a threat, and you hope that eventually you can just heal yourself continually with that Crystal Cave. And the fact that Travis has that boss's orders now means that he can still cash in on a big knockout here potentially.
Again, but yeah, how do you just find all 6 prizes? Hyper Potion off the top.
Absolutely crucial here, especially on a turn where you can potentially draw more prize cards. You know that you have Hyper Potions in the prize cards here. If you cash in on this one, even you can honestly just hold it if you want to. But just knowing that you have additional resources like that, where you could do a double Hyper Potion turn, that's exactly what you're looking for. What in what is happening? 5 goes to 2. That pip was hiding for a long time.
Boss's Orders does bring up that damage to Sui and Goodra VStar, and Travis finally gets the first prizes of this game 1, 25 minutes into the match.
And I don't think that he saw the other Hyper Potion. No, there it is there. Okay. So
Well, no, it's still in the prizes.
oh, well, it's
the
that
top,
Poke
yeah.
Gear. That Poke Gear continues to look like it. Unreal. I'm going to switch those arts for him as soon as this game's over.
All right, Rolling Iron with that fresh Hisuian Goodra V-Star. Travis now in a big debate here is going to have to Hyper Potion. You can attach that double turbo energy, get rid of the extra damage.
Yep, 240 down to 210, still potentially knocked out. So you're going to have to use that Hyper Potion this turn. Now the debate is, do you do it with the double turbo? Do you hold on to that double turbo in case you need to do something wild with an Arceus V-Star or something?
Yeah, it is one of the only other attackers you have powered up. Powered up in quotation marks. There's a water energy on it.
That's power, my friend.
Oh, we do see the Hyper Potion finally played from Travis here. Is going to discard. Oh, you gotta.
I think the only debate here is, do I have at least one water energy in case I need to do Melanie? And I don't even, he may have also just played all of his Melanies, so.
Yeah, just the one in the list for Travis, and did not find a good 3 cards earlier in the game, so. No
I
real.
remember that. Feels like just yesterday.
No, Kyle, it was only just like 5 turns ago.
Oh, these are long turns.
They are.
A lot of rolling iron.
And speaking of rolling iron, there is the damage on that Hisuian Goodra V-Star, now 70, thanks to that Crystal Cave yet again.
Yep. Making good use of the healing there.
Good. Yeah.
Aha, we did it. And there's a Melanie.
Yeah, again, the big difference, the Hyper Potion, but also the Melanie count. Manuel does play an extra 1. And we see out of the 3 cards, Ordinary Rod, Marnie, couple beneficial cards here, but...
Yeah, you start to wonder if at some point can you potentially line up another Hisuian Goodra if you know your opponent is potentially out of boss's orders. Can you just retreat on the turn that you'll potentially be knocked out to a brand new one? A lot going on.
You kind of have to wonder how many boss's orders Travis has left available to him. 2 Pokegear in hand, you know, not Hyper Potion. I can see where you're coming from though. Like the way Travis is holding his hand right now.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I can see it. So it does give you the option to maybe find those boss's orders and hunt down that Arceus V-Star to maybe find the Hyper Potion from the prizes, but now we're just going to see another Rolling Iron now, 140 damage on the active Hisuian Goodra V-Star. Manuel has the ability to play a Marnie this turn.
Yeah, Marning on the turn that your opponent wants to use a Hyper Potion is really nice, and sure enough, perfectly timed there by Manuel now.
And I think there's only 4 cards left in Travis's deck as well.
I guess this is the only time where you do want to shuffle, because that's going to be the deck.
Yeah.
Ah, look, same for Manuel. Yeah, we are down to the nitty gritty. Resources are going to be slim. Knockouts are going to be hard to come by. Once again, Rolling Iron, putting that Hisuian Goodra V-Star to potential KO range. And
Okay.
that is a nice find. Are there enough resources to get another Goodra V-Star online?
We know there's
or are
at
we
least
slipping and tripping?
1 water in the deck, thanks to that Marnie. It's going to be tough. Travis debating here. What do I have left?
What does he have left?
Yeah, depending on how many double turbo have been used, maybe use that last boss's orders, bring up someone with 2 retreat cost that can't really do anything, and
You can slip and trip and have an awkward promotion where a retreat's necessary.
And actually, honestly, I think we've seen Travis's entire deck, and he didn't have a boss's orders in hand, so I don't think there's one left. How have these players used so many resources just without us noticing?
They've just been falling by the wayside. Yeah, it's time to do a count, and that will be a knockout.
230 damage. I can count, yeah, on the Hisuian Goodra VStar.
Golf claps all around. That is finally a knockout on that Hisuian Goodra VStar. That guy was around for a long time. We saw the Moisture Star, of course. Keep it around. I think we saw upwards of 500 damage healed off of that Pokemon alone. Finally, to the discard pile. Manuel with just 1 prize card remaining. Resources are so slim, hard to come by. Travis looking for at least a water energy to have some fun.
How about a Pokegear with no supporters in the deck, most likely?
Hey, water energy.
Oh, yeah. 7 cards left in the deck. Those 7 cards aren't going to get you there at all. The double turbo energy maybe had enough leeway to take the knockout with that Trinity Nova, but then you just have that Arceus V-Star in the active, waiting for a double turbo energy of Manuel's own. And I think with the way the hand shaped up here,
this is so tough with just a hard fought battle for both of these players. So many resources left and just gone now, and you're trying to piece together exactly how you're going to win this game, and the only resource that you have left to use is a research. You lose.
Yeah, 7 cards in deck. Research draws you 7 cards. You can slip and trip. And
hey, you know, if you're gonna lose, you might as well slip and trip.
Slip and trip for 0 damage. Let's go.
That's how we drew it up. That is game number 1 for Manuel. Shows the boss's orders. Just says, yeah, I did have it. You did get a little unlucky, but we were going to be moving on to game 2 either way.
Travis showing off that metal Marnie and Hyper Potion still left in the prizes, but hey.
That was rough.
Yeah, what are you going to do with a giant hand? Discard it with Professor's Research? I don't think so.
Yeah, there's no way you have turn 2 Arceus ready to go.
Those mulligans actually really did help out Travis in getting that turn 2 Arceus ready to go, finding that Arceus V off the top of the deck, and then with a quick Ultra Ball in hand can find that V-Star. And
I'd like to mention that even with the amazing additional help of 4 extra cards, he still only got 1 energy and was left with the same option to do the discard for the Melanie play. And this time says, you know what, I'm just going to play the energy. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need any other basic Pokemon outside of that Radiant Gardevoir, and you can go fetch that next turn. It'll be fine.
Seems fair enough. Also understand that Manuel is probably going to play on Marnie if he has one. That's kind of what happens when you give your opponent half their deck to start the game. Gonna look for it with the gear.
Gonna be a big top 7 here.
Yeah.
How about a Professor's Research?
Not a bad card. Not necessarily worried about losing a boss's orders just now, especially when you have 13 minutes on the clock. Trying to play a nice long game too.
Oh,
certainly some consideration here when you see the evolution incense.
I mean, what are you really going for anyway?
YOLO.
Ooh, no way to immediately get the Arceus V-Star next turn. Does have another research to spin the wheel again.
Much prefer the art of the Pokegear over on this side. I know what that is, and we're going to see it pass at the turn.
Oh, Travis, just with next level thinking, knew the Radiant Gardevoir was going to be on the top of the deck, so just didn't play the Quick Ball last turn.
Just draw it. What are you doing? Duh.
And then here is that Ultra Ball. Going to be important, discarding a boss's orders with it.
Go ahead and mention the bad news to the people.
Bad news?
We are not going to see Moisture Star from Travis this
Not at
game.
all, no. Sorry, y'all. I mean, you know, at home, in here, in our hearts. Starbirth.
I love the clarification there with the point to Starbirth. Not enough to just say it, but also to specifically point to it and understand that we are not using Moisture Star right now.
Now, with the Starbirth ability, we'll be able to search for any 2 cards looking like double turbo energy and
Wow,
the
just shows
switch.
them, too.
Yeah.
I don't have time for games.
Except for Pokemon.
That is a good game to play.
Great game.
Going to see the 180 damage there from the Trinity Nova.
160.
Thank you. There's a Radiant Gardevoir. What if I was getting to that? No, I wasn't.
Manuel's turn now, and we do see another double turbo off the top. And ooh, this is going to be...
This is actually huge. Yeah, I do love the Thin here. Just anything to help out, potentially give yourself... Get 1 card closer. I don't even know what you can grab Zacian and just hold it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I mean, if you're in absolute dire straits, you just can Intrepid Store and figure it out.
That's not where you want to be, especially with 10 minutes left to go in this game 2. A winner is needed here for one of these players to punch their ticket into day 2. All right. Pokegear.
This is big. Boss's orders, Avery. Any other selections? No, it's just going to be the 3 cards from the Avery to potentially find the Arceus VStar. Going to just pass on all those? Was there another choice in the hand?
No, I believe it was just the Professor's Research. So we're going to forego the 3 cards from Avery and try to find the Arceus VStar off the 7.
All right. Resources are silly. Let's push. Don't mind that at all. See that energy attachment there.
Not losing too much, just that double turbo energy.
Yeah.
Ultra Ball found off the first 3 cards off this Professor's Research that will be able to grab that Arceus V-Star, albeit you're going to have to discard a little bit of extra cards you don't want to. Maybe just the Avery Crystal Cave, maybe?
Yep. See the water energy for the Melanie, always fine to see. Of course, this is going to be looking for that Arceus V-Star, that Starbirth ability.
Or hear me out. Hisuian Goodra V-Star and the Moisture Star ability.
You know, I don't know if that's going to help here. As much as I'd love to see it.
Oh, I think we're
Starbirthing for 1.
Skipping things a little bit here.
Yeah, good old Starbirth for 1. So, ooh, I can take 2 cards. All right, this is good.
This card's broken.
Yeah, this is great. Imagine playing computer search and getting to go again.
Looks like Switch is going to be, you know, the obvious card found here. Travis showing it. Last turn, might as well, you know. I got the same thing.
I think it's pretty intimidating when your opponent just grabs 1 card off Starbirth.
Oh, yes.
Like, oh, man, what's the rest of that hand?
Almost opted for the Crystal Cave with 1 in hand.
I almost want another Goodra. I'm kind of done with this one. I want to try again. You could just charge up a different one and move on. Looks like getting some energies onto it would be the choice here, which is kind of scary.
Oh, 100%.
This is a big turn where Boss could hurt.
And we see a Boss's orders in hand for Travis here.
No.
And wow, okay. Bring that boy up. Boss's orders will take the knockout. Trinity Nova. Yeah, you don't need to bring it up to the active. It's fine. You know what I'm going to do.
Yep. Understandably so. 8 minutes left on the clock. Travis trying to at least make this a game now, and certainly does so. We see the energies from the Trinity Nova onto the Hisuian Goodra V. 2 prize cards up into the hand. And Manuel back to square 1. At least a knockout online, but we need to see a Goodra.
No Pokemon Search in hand. Is going to have to rely off this Marnie here. We'll be able to disrupt Travis a little bit, but again, this is kind of the position Manuel was in game 1. You have the 3 threats basically in play, including that Arceus V-Star, and really just playing off the board while Manuel is the one trying to get things set up, get things going for the end game here.
Yeah, Travis said, hey, I liked what you did there. I'm going to do that. Manuel does find the quick ball, thankfully. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Looking at the prizes, these decks only play a 2-2 Hisuian Goodra VStar line. So that Hisuian Goodra V hiding out in the top of the prize cards for Manuel. Now, granted, can technically pick it up with these 2 prizes, but you're going to have to go digging. Usually, players tend to take from the bottom here.
This is terrifying. What do you if you don't find Hisuian Goodra this turn, I don't know if you can buy enough time.
And with those prizes taken, I don't think you can either. I don't think Manuel's really going to take another prize this game.
I don't think you want to scoop either.
No, not at all.
You can't afford to. There's no way you win a game in 6 minutes, unless you're Travis.
Well, there is that first rolling iron, 180 damage on that Arceus VStar. Double turbo is going to be played so you can heal off 120 with the Hyper Potion.
Oh, these are just concrete shoes. you can see the writing on the wall with this strategy. It's just not going to work, but you have to continue to fight and try to work through these 6 minutes plus 3 turns.
Well, here is a Pokegear. Going to find another Marnie. Try to disrupt a little bit more. You're going to be able to place 160 damage on that Hisuian. Or I guess not 160, 80 damage.
Ouch. Yeah, when you do 80, and there's the potential to be healing with cards like the Hyper Potion, with cards like the Crystal Cave, you aren't going to get the job done. Ooh, the Ordinary Rod.
Yeah, just play more cards. Come on, let's go.
There's the Goodra. You got to find it to at least get it charged up or something at this point. I think we saw a ton of quick balls earlier. I don't know if there's anything left in the hand to help out here.
If so, it's going to be pretty important to get that Hisuian Goodra V into play so you can get those energy attached to it, hopefully evolve into that V-Star. And we do see a quick ball in hand. All right, and yeah, 2 V-Star.
Well, you only need 1. I think Manuel's going to come to that conclusion. The only thing now is, do you tell your opponent that you have 1 by discarding it? I don't really know if it matters at this point. I think energies are probably more important, but here we go. Goodra V down. Plenty of energies to charge it up in the deck, it looks like.
And there we see that Trinity Nova for 80 damage. And
oh my goodness, finds the boss's orders. Could put a ton of pressure right now onto the Goodra and going to go ahead and do so. Travis, understanding the gravity of the situation, going to go ahead and just get that Pokemon in the active spot. Looking to apply pressure as soon as he can. 200 damage, well, 180 once again with that Radiant Gardevoir. And that is a big turn.
That's also something to mention is that was the last boss's orders for Travis. Had to discard that one early. He played that one to take the knockout on that other Hisuian Goodra V. And we might still have a game here.
I mean, the runaway strategies are live. If there's enough energies, then you could just go ahead and run to the Arceus V-Star and Trinity Nova, charge back up the Goodra at whatever point you need to, heal with the Cave, and then try to make one last stand as this is your only Pokemon in play, potentially.
Boss's orders brings up that Hisuian Goodra V on the bench, and we're going to see 180 damage. Now, Travis does have a double turbo energy and a couple hyper potions to go along with it.
Yep, not the Pokemon that he wants in the active per se, so maybe a decision here. Should see the heal regardless, and that looks like it's going to line up just fine. Oh, there we go, the retreat. That's perfect too. You have that Crystal Cave that you can just heal off. I think I like this better, yeah.
Quick Ball discards that Zamazenta V, grab an Arceus V. That's either going to go on the bench or on the bottom, thanks to Marnie. And no, we're actually just going to see Rolling Iron here. 100 damage on that opposing Hisuian Goodra V-Star. That much closer to being knocked out. 2.5 minutes here. Game 2, round 9.
It doesn't get much closer than this. And it's wild that it's just Travis trying to fight for one match point right now. that, it kind of ruins the gravity of the situation, but it's also really cool that he found a way to potentially close out this game.
There is that Evolution Incense. Going to look through the deck. We'll be able to find an Arceus VStar to grab out of there. And I think there was, what, 1 energy left? Maybe 2?
Well, if there was 1, then that really means that the discard of the Ultra Ball was really rough, because that is a very important resource.
Now you still have something like Melanie to maybe get an extra energy onto one of these V-Stars in play, but granted not in hand. The hand for Manuel is utterly terrible. It is 2 V-Stars.
So this was a turn where the Goodra could have been knocked out. We were going to see.
Oh, yes, just
the one, that extra energy.
Is there even a Melanie left?
I don't know if we see it.
Just over a minute left. And Travis is really just fighting to keep Manuel out of day 2.
If my Goodra can't go, neither can yours. Oh, yes.
There is the 180 damage with Rolling Iron. Ultra Ball off the top for Manuel, but there's no card like Crobat V's to draw with Dark Asset or anything of the like.
Both these Pokemon in range of being knocked out. Arceus has a decision to make.
Retreat or just deal 80 damage.
Gonna go ahead and deal the damage. Crystal Cave available.
Yep, got to make sure to shuffle. It's not a May. You can get 0, but you still have to shuffle.
You will shuffle.
And here is the Rolling Iron for the knockout. Travis goes down to 2 prize cards remaining. And with taking the knockout, 3 seconds left, Manuel draws the card.
Oh, it's the Melanie, too.
Gonna be turn 0. And this Melanie might just keep Manuel in the game here.
He's at 160 damage on the active. That's 10 short of a knockout. Gonna have an additional turn there now.
They're clarifying the turns. Yes, Manuel is turn 0.
There's an escape rope. If there's no boss.
Yeah, there's no boss left.
I think he bought the turn.
Insane. Manuel can Rolling Iron here, get that damage reduction up, and take the hit. The next turn you escape rope and punch your ticket into day 2.
Thanks, Manuel. Signifying the turns remain in the game. He is on turn 0, which is going to have just turn 2 to close things out.
Yeah, or players take note. It's really helpful, you know?
Shout out. It is not about Manuel closing things out, though. It's about Travis trying to find a way to take game number 2 with turn 1 and turn 3. Manuel just trying to figure out what the best option here is. Do you just attack now, get the damage reduction lined up, currently reducing 100.
Hey, listen, time's already been called. You're afforded a little extra time to think here, especially in this endgame scenario. And we're going to see that Rolling Iron yet again. Can Travis find a way to take this knockout? I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, unless he finds a Galarian Zigzagoon from a friend. I don't know if this happens.
Just 10 damage short, it seems, from being able to take this knockout and force a tie. So many Hyper Potion in hand for Travis, but hasn't needed to even play him this game.
Yep, not concerned about being knocked out. Only looking to take the prizes here. And I think You called it with the boss's orders, just not going to be able to promote this Hisuian Goodra back into the active.
Oh, Hyper
see
Potion
the Hyper
off
Potion
the
too.
top of the deck. Come on.
Hyper Potion's a little more awkward just because you wouldn't be able to use Rolling Iron, so I think the retreat is just...
Oh, yeah, no energy left.
Yeah, or just the rope, however you want to get this done. Zacian V, plenty of hit points to absorb a shot from a Rolling Iron.
And there is that Crystal Cave. Cleaning up the damage counters a little bit.
Yeah. Both of these players are friends to the stream.
Yes.
I will give them that.
Such an elegant round 9.
Manuel, thinking of everything, doesn't want to awkwardly play into anything here.
This is the safest route.
Yep, one prize Pokemon. Heal, not concerned about attacking anymore, just wants to be able to survive turn number 3 here. Even reading Big Parasol for the 13th time to see if that would help.
Maybe this card's effect has
go.
changed. Travis now last turn of the game, last round of day 1. And it's looking like things are closing for Travis here in this mirror match. And well, no turns left, no energy in play, but it's looking like the match is all sealed up. And there is the concession. Manuel Jorach punches their ticket into day 2. Hisui and Goodra VStar. We knew one of them was hopefully going to make it in unless Travis had something to say about it.
It almost got weird.